Give me just a second, I'm still setting everything up. I was busy, okay? I just had to clean my dog's butt. Is there sound?
Is there sound?
Yes, good, there is. Yeah, I just got done bathing my dog once again. So now I'm here. Does that look straight? I don't think that looks straight. Okay, so I traded myself a little bit of more ore. Now, it's not too much compared to what I had last time. But, you know, it's a little bit every now and then. Alright, I'm connected. Whoops. Alright, so we have a lot to talk about today. Give me a second, just getting everything else ready. 3DS on the side. Hunting Pheromosa. Pour myself a cup of water. You know, I knew a guy named Jackie once. You know, I can technically host this path infinitely. All I need to do is grind ore on my other game and just constantly trade to myself to replenish my supply of ore. Until I get the Zygarde, of course. So until that happens, I can technically host this infinitely. As long as I put in the effort and work, you know. Okay, so I have so much to talk about today. I actually, there's so much to talk about. I actually wrote them down. So I have a whole list of topics for me to talk about. First of all, today, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe tomorrow. Hold on, let me double check. I saw this online, but I didn't fact check. Let me see. It is today. Okay, so today, on the 26th of April, 6 years ago today, Avengers Endgame came out. It has been 6 years since that movie came out. And some would argue, ended the MCU. It has been 6 years. 6 years since Avengers Endgame came out today. Ain't that crazy? And what else is also crazy? Hold on, let me double check the date. Yeah. We're getting Avengers The Kang Dynasty next week. Remember how that was announced for May 2nd? Yeah, 6 years ago we got Avengers Endgame. A week from now we're getting Avengers The Kang Dynasty. Woo! Anyways, we all know the Kang Dynasty got cancelled, and then we're getting Avengers Doomsday. I'm not gonna lie, I would have absolutely loved to see what the plan was for the Kang Dynasty. Seeing each hero individually fight a Kang variant, I think that would have been cool to see. But, oh well, that's not the timeline we live in. Alright, let me cross that off the list. So, also earlier today, I woke up to see quite a surprise online. So, the Pokemon Company today announced that they are doing life-size Evolution plushes. So, life-size plushes for every Eevee evolution. First of all, I want to say those Evolutions are bigger than I thought. Those are huge. They are enormous. The anime and the games make them look so small. If they are life-size plush, they are enormous. They're the size of a pretty big dog. Just wanted to say that first and foremost. The thing that everyone gravitated towards was the life-size Vaporeon plush. You already know everyone online and what they had and what they were thinking, what they had in mind when seeing that. A life-size Vaporeon plush. Especially since the last life-size plush they did was Gardevoir. I mean, what's next? Lopunny? Given their track record, possibly. It almost seems like every evolution plush was just an excuse for them to make us life-size Vaporeon plushes. Now, am I gonna buy one of these? No, maybe. But, I don't know. It's a little too much money. Did I want the Gardevoir life-size plush? $600 though for a doll. I don't think I was going to do that yet. So yeah, a Vaporeon plush. No, why did I say it as if that was it? No, evolution plushes. Like, Vaporeon's obviously not the only one. We're getting the rest. Jolteon, Flareon, Leafeon, Glaceon, Umbreon, Espeon, Sylveon. We're getting the rest. And I'm sure we've had Eevee this whole time. Maybe not life-size plush, but yeah, we've had Eevee plushes this whole time. So yeah, are any sickos out there gonna get the Vaporeon plush for themselves? You got a Vaporeon plush? You getting the life-size version to match the Gardevoir? All I need now is a Vaporeon... What? All I need now is a Lopunny. That correction doesn't make it much better. Let's see, now all I need is Lopunny, Meowscarada, Delphox, what? I mean, give me that life-size Charizard plush. You know, I only want the cool stuff. Give me that life-size Decidueye plush. Totally nothing else. Please, God forbid, do not give me a life-size Meowscarada plush. Okay, enough sus shit aside. So, a lot of stuff happened yesterday that I want to talk about. First, let me talk about something that was announced yesterday. Yesterday, we got the announcement that not only Hazbin Hotel, but also the fact that Hell of a Boss is going to Prime Video. Now, Hazbin Hotel is already on Prime Video, but not Hell of a Boss. That's a pretty big deal. Hell of a Boss being on Prime Video means that it's going to have more production value, more quality, and you know, the fact that they're on the same service, the two shows, means there are going to be crossovers between the two shows. Finally! I've been waiting for this, even though I haven't started Hell of a Boss yet. I guess I've been waiting for something like this to incentivize me, which I totally am. I do plan to catch up soon. I think there's like 24 episodes. So it's not a whole lot for me to catch up on. I'm excited! I saw a lot of fans online saying like it's almost a dream come true seeing the Hazbin Hotel characters in the same frame as the Hell of a Boss characters. Seeing, you know, Charlie, Vaggie, and Luna all on screen at the same time. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see the characters actually interact. And not only that, you know, it was also mentioned that Hazbin Hotel has been renewed for seasons 3 and 4. Hell of a Boss episodes are going to air on Prime Video first, and then, I don't know, a month later, air on YouTube. So if you're patient, you can watch the show completely for free on YouTube. And that's a pretty big deal. Unlike how greedy Disney is, Jeff Bezos is actually pretty nice with Prime Video. So I'm excited. There was also this one line in the little trailer, in the little announcement, that is like, well, feels like I've heard that before. Because both Charlie and Blitz both said, animation takes a long time. I'm like, haven't I heard that line before? We heard that exact same line on Invincible, which, hey, surprise, surprise, is also on Prime Video. Gee, it's almost like Prime Video is totally aware that the fans want more, but also know that the fans understand animation takes a long time, so please be patient. I mean, we don't want another Invincible Season 3 debacle, do we? Life-size Ditto plush? You know how small that'd be, actually? No, we're waiting for the development of nanotech, where a real-life Ditto can really transform into anything we want. With parameters, I'm sure. Can't transform into kids. Anyways. So, let me talk about one more thing before I talk about yesterday and what happened yesterday. So, I want to ask a serious question real quick. Like, real quick. Honestly, I have a real serious question to ask. Why the fuck is Hello Kitty black now? For the past little while, just walking around, I've been seeing a lot of color-changed Hello Kitty. And I don't think it's, off-brand toys teetering around copyright. I think it's actually Hello Kitty, just, black. So earlier today, I sent it to my friends, like, why the hell is Hello Kitty now? It's not even the first time I've seen her overly tan. One of my friends replied, that's not black, that's brown. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Whatever. She's not white. Why is Hello Kitty not white? Like, I've seen actual, plastic figurines. I've seen phone cases with black Hello Kitty. And when I say black, I don't mean literally black. I mean like a dark brown, okay? Just to be clear. Why is Hello Kitty not white? It's insane. Like, has the quote-unquote woke mind virus even gotten to Hello Kitty of all things? Anyways, so, okay, let me talk about yesterday, because I had quite a day yesterday. First of all, I want to mention that right now is indeed DA Weekend hosted by Blue Vector, and this is for the first time that I'm actually participating in it. Well, I don't know if I want to say participating, it's more like I'm coincidentally doing it at the same time he's hosting. But technically anyone can join. So Blue Vector is hosting The Weekend, and I technically could have started yesterday, because yesterday was Friday. The event goes on for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so I could have done it Friday and Sunday. But instead, you're only getting it today on Saturday. So let me explain what happened to me yesterday. So, once again, yesterday, I was technically supposed to get a day off from work, and then I lost said day off from work. This is the second time it's happened recently, and it's the countless number of times that it's happened who knows how long now. So yeah, yesterday I was supposed to have a day off from work, once again, I was told several days in advance, you can take Friday off. You don't need to come in Friday. You can take that day off. You can stay home that day. Okay, so yesterday morning, honestly, I wasn't even too sure if I could or not. For days leading up, I was told you can take Friday off. But then, Thursday night, my mom was like, do you want me to wake you up so you can go to work? Do you want me to let you sleep in? It's like, what do you want, son? I don't know. Do I need to go in? I thought I was staying home the next day. So yesterday morning, I was at least allowed to sleep in, which I slept for 30 minutes more than I normally would. So, what a big difference. So when I woke up, my mom told me, just come to work later today. It's like, well, shit. Guess I gotta go. Guess there goes my day off and all my plans. So I went into work and there was not shit for me to do. It was so boring. It was so slow. I wasted my day going out. See, my original plans for yesterday, had I not wasted my day and lost my free time, my original plans for the day was to do kind of like an all-day, but two-parter stream. So, because I had the entire day off yesterday, or I should have, my plan was to basically do this, hunt Zygarde, all day, and then take a break because I was going out to dinner. Then after dinner, I come back and I do this again. So my plan yesterday would have been to do this all day. And not gonna lie, that was my plan. I forgot it was DA weekend. So had I been able to do my plan, that would have been even perfect. Even more perfect. But God had a different idea. You know, yesterday, had I been home, I could have done another 4-hour stream hunting Zygarde instead of editing that vlog. So, that was my original plan. Hunt Zygarde all day, take a break to go out for dinner, come back, hunt more Zygarde, maybe do like another 2 hours. Well, those plans are all out the door, all in the trash. None of that happened. I didn't even get to stream at night yesterday. That was my plan too. It's like, alright, fine. If I can't stream during the day, maybe after dinner, I can stream at night. Nope, that didn't happen because my friends surprise wanted to come over and drink. Not me, of course, I don't drink. But they wanted to come over and chill. So I was like, well, shit, I guess my plans for the whole day is gone. Excuse me, I just drank water and it went down the wrong way. So, yesterday was pretty bad, and then it ended up somewhat redeemed. So let me explain. Like I said, yesterday my plan was to stay home, but then I lost that day off for absolutely no reason. I went to work, there was nothing to do. So I went to work, and because there was nothing to do, my plan initially was just to drive my mom's car back home, and then maybe squeeze in a little bit of this during the day. Now, a lot of hurdles popped up. One, my sister wanted me to go to a particular store in another mall to help her buy some stuff. So I was like, well, that cuts into my free time, but I guess. If I leave early enough, I can head to the other mall, pick up what my sister wants, come home, do a little bit of Zygarde hunting. Now, let me explain something real quick. Now, this is going to sound very privileged and first world problems. My family's very bizarre. We as a family of 4 take at least 2 cars to go work at the same place. Ain't that ridiculous? What does a family of 4 need what does a family of 4 need 2 cars to go work at the exact same place every day? You would think one car would make the most sense. But, you know, privileged arguments. Everyone has their own lives. Everyone has their own schedules. Sometimes someone takes a day off and they have something to do, so they need a separate car. That kind of argument. So just know that my family of 4 takes 2 cars to work at the same place. It's in that case that place steals your car again. By the way, did you get that car back? Hell no, we didn't. That car was long gone. And had we found the car, we wouldn't have taken it back anyways. Because who knows if there was a bomb planted or a tracker chip planted. Who knows? The moment some crook got their grubby hands on our steering wheel, it was gone. Anyway, so yeah. So we had 2 cars out at work, so my plan was to take my mom's car, go to another mall, help my sister buy some stuff, come back home, and then my mom and sister go in my dad's car, and the 3 of them come back home later. Because we would have had to drop off one of the cars at home before we go out for dinner anyways, so that plan would have worked out. But that's not how the plans played out. So, at least I double-checked with my dad. Otherwise, there would be a pretty big problem. So I double-checked with my dad. I'm just like, I was going to tell my dad, hey dad, I'm going to take mom's car, go help sister buy some stuff, and then I'm going to head home. I wasn't even supposed to come out today, and there's nothing to do, so I'm going to take my ass home. My dad then said, oh, we can't. Well, rather, you can't. Because I have a client afterwards, and once I'm done with that client, I have to drive that client back home. What? I mean, I guess there's technically nothing illegal about that. The client just has no way to get home, so my dad offered to drive that person back home. Okay. So that means I can't take my mom's car because dad, mom, and sister would have to drive person back home first. I was like, no. So I was stuck there. Except for one silver lining. That family friend of ours whose mom we were supposed to have dim sum with, yeah, he showed up. And he was actually willing to drive me home because he lives pretty close by. However, he took his sweet-ass time. So instead of driving me home right away, which, fair enough, if he's being generous enough to drive me home, he can at least do his own stuff first. So, that family friend of ours offered to drive me home. But first, he sat his ass down and was doing paperwork for like the next hour, wasting more of my time. And then, when we finally got into his car, well, he took me to do some of his errands first before dropping me off. And then by the time I got home, it was like 5 o'clock. It's like, well, it's too late to do anything now. My plans for the day have been ruined. My friends want to come over later at night after I'm done eating dinner. It's like, well, all my plans are gone. All the things I had planned are no more. What really sucks is the fact that none of my family members feel any remorse. Because this isn't even the first time I lost my day off over bullshit. And they all tell me, like, too bad, suck it up. My mom's just like, what are you complaining about? You're going to take Thursday off. It's like, I was supposed to take Friday off, and now you're telling me I can take the next Thursday off. That's almost a week away. Well, like I said, yesterday was pretty bad, but it started to redeem itself. Because had I not wasted my day and gone out to work when I didn't need to, certain things would not have happened. First of all, had I not gone out, I would not have been in my friend's car to drive me home. And during that car ride, we were at a red light. And of course I had Pokemon Go open. I did a Squirtle Dynamax raid, and that was a Hundo Squirtle. So had I not wasted my day yesterday, I would not have actually gotten a Hundo Squirtle. Had I not gone to work yesterday, I would not have gotten 3 shinies in Pokemon Go. I got a shiny Abra, I got a shiny Meowth, and I forget what the third one was. I probably should have checked before this. I think it was a Gulpin. I think I got shiny Gulpin first. I think it was shiny Gulpin, Meowth, and then Abra. Yes, Gulpin D's. So yeah, had I not gone out yesterday, I would not have gotten a Hundo Squirtle. I would not have gotten 3 shinies. And he would not have treated me to lunch. So at least there's that. At least he paid for my lunch. What did we get? We actually got some, you know, Shelby's shawarma. I'm not kidding. After I had to basically tag along with his errand running. Yeah, we bought some shawarma, and he paid for my rab. So at least that was cool. I got a legendary beef and lamb rab. He got the tikka masala bowl. So, you know, yesterday being bad at least turned into good. I got 3 shinies, I got a Hundo Squirtle, and I got free shawarma. Nice. Alright, so the rest of the day played out how you would expect. After I got home, well, I took a nap. When I woke up, it was time to go out for dinner. We went out for dinner because my sister's friend, he is leaving for a trip to China in a couple days, so he wanted to have one last dinner with us as a goodbye. You know, before he leaves and hopefully doesn't die in a plane crash. You know? Because everything with planes these days. And he's a pretty big dude. Like, he's huge. He's taller than my dad. He's a pretty big guy. He's the type of guy that would have to kneel down just to be at eye level with me. So my mom was making the jokes. Making jokes like, because you're going to China, or, you know, are Chinese girls gonna be interested in you? Look at you, you're a big guy, you're a good looking guy, you got money. My sister is just like, well, yeah, he has money, he's not short or fat. And I'm just like, well, I feel attacked. I feel personally attacked. It's like, of course girls are gonna like him. If he didn't have money, then he's still tall, you know? If it wasn't for him having money, at least he's not short or fat. And I took that personally. Anyway, so after the dinner, we came home. My friends were already on the driveway waiting. So yeah, my friends came over last night. We chilled. They drank. I did not. Because I don't drink. You want to know what's funny? So, at dinner, because my dad just basically knows everyone, one of my dad's NPC friends randomly spawned in out of nowhere, and my dad's friend just brought over some extremely powerful liquor. He brought over some booze that was so strong. I at least smelled it. It smelled exactly like rubbing alcohol. I don't know what it was. My mom was like, you're a grown-ass man now, why don't you take a sip? I'm just like, hell no. You smell this? It smells like rubbing alcohol. She's just like, at least try a drop. Take a chopstick, dip it in, and just taste a drop. I did, and that shit burned. Ain't no way I was about to take a sip. I was hesitant to even take a drop. I don't drink, y'all, okay? I don't like the taste of booze. The quote-unquote beer I had in Hong Kong, the only reason I could drink it is because there was barely, but still a hint of that alcohol flavor. I just don't like that taste. That quote-unquote beer I had in Hong Kong was 0.6% alcohol. Not even 1%. I know some people are gonna say that's some pussy level stuff, and it's like, yeah, so what if it is? So anyways, after dinner last night, my friends came over, we chilled for a bit, and then we ended up watching a movie. Yesterday night, we ended up watching Smile, the, I believe, 2022 film. Yeah, Smile came out 2022. I had never seen this film, so I am pretty late. Did I just metal? I don't know what I did. I'm gonna metal sound just to be safe. So we watched Smile last night. Now I'm excited to watch Smile 2. I think that film came out just a couple months ago. I think it came out October of last year. Yeah, Smile 2 did come out October of last year. So Smile 2 is pretty recent. Oh, that's not good. It's okay, that's our first knockout. We still have 2 other ice types. Can I get a freeze? No. So, typically, with the way I am, I'm gonna break down the movie Smile. I want to mention that as the film was starting, I got shiny Zygarde. So now I'm shiny hunting Pheromosa. Nice, a heal cheer. Thank you, RNG. Can RNG be nice to me and give me a shiny Zygarde? I could have shiny hunted this for like 6 hours yesterday, but no, I had to have my day wasted. You know, like I said, I can hunt this Zygarde infinitely until I get it. I think I've only done this method once, where I catch nothing but the legendary, and if it's not shiny, I reset. I've only done it one other time where I actually did get a shiny, and that was Heatran. Okay, one person says he's about to take a break, so I gotta let another person know to join. Okay, we gotta wait for one person to join. See if this person wants to join. So yeah, I got Chinese circuitry last night, right as the movie was starting. Okay, person's ready to join. Or will be in a sec. Person's said yes to joining. Ugh. Okay, so let's talk about the movie Smile. First of all, I want to give this movie some actual praise. It felt so nice to watch a movie that did not have any political agenda, no sort of message to get across. It was just a nice, story-driven horror movie. Just a movie, just a film that wants to tell a good story, and that's it. No political agenda, no message to spread, nothing. Just a plain, simple horror movie. That's it. So I will give it some praise for that, which is actually shocking, because movies do not need to be praised for that. They should not be praised for doing the bare minimum, and that's being telling a story and not shoving messages in your face. But the world we live in is not good. So yes, this movie deserves praise for being a good movie. A simple, story-driven movie. No. Okay, I gotta tell this person what strategy to use. And I also want to say, too, that this was actually a pretty decent horror movie. A lot of horror movies these days are pretty bad, pretty cheesy, pretty cringe, borderline funny. You know? You laugh at the movie trying to be scary. This movie's no Night Swim. This movie was actually pretty good in terms of being a horror movie. Now, a lot of the scares were indeed just cheap jump scares and tension building. But, what's a horror movie if not just that, right? Just out of nowhere, jump scares, loud noises to break the silence. Ugh. Causing tension, like you're seeing a long, dark hallway and you're just expecting something to run towards the camera and a loud sound accompanying it. So, what is horror movies if not just movies with that? Have you guys seen that clip online? I don't know which movie it was, I forget. It was a movie where, there was cheerful music dubbed over, and it's just proof that horror movies aren't scary if the sounds were different. If it was just jolly sound effects, it would not be scary. Anyways, so, smile. I'm not talking about that thing in Squid Game telling you to smile. I'm kind of surprised too, because I remember seeing the trailer and posters for this movie. The girl who was smiling on the poster and in the trailer thumbnail, in the movie her name's Laura. She's actually in the movie for very little. She's in the movie for like 3 minutes and that's it. And I'm kind of surprised that she's basically the face, the poster face for the movie, and not the actual main character herself. So anyways, we meet our main character. Her name is Rose Cotter. She is a therapist working at whatever the hospital is called, working at a hospital. At Sophia the First soundtrack to Smile's background. Yeah, kinda. The way you described it, it's kind of like those videos online, people adding SpongeBob's best day ever over Deep Impact. Anyone else see that film, Deep Impact? I did. In fact, I forget which grade it was. My 5th or 6th grade teacher showed us that movie. And I say that because I had the same teacher for both grades. So I forget which year he showed us it. Anyway, so yeah. The movie Smile, we meet our main character, Rose Cotter. She is a therapist at a hospital. She gets a patient, Laura, the poster girl for the movie, who's giving off that humongous smile, that ear-to-ear smile, that Grinch-level smile on every poster. So, as a therapist, she's trying to help her patient, Laura, with some sort of trauma. So, the reports are coming in that Laura witnessed her, I think it was her teacher, commit... Oh boy, there's a lot of words. There's a lot of words I'm gonna say today that YouTube does not like. Because they're a bunch of pussies. So, she saw her teacher, I believe, commit suicide right in front of her, so she's now traumatized. So, she needs therapy. She's unhinged. She's unwell. She's at a hospital. And our character, Rose, the therapist, is trying to help her. So, obviously, she comes off crazy with what she's saying, and nobody will believe her. Laura is saying she sees things all the time. She sees something, always trying to get at her. It sometimes takes the appearance of people she knows, or complete strangers, and it's always smiling at her. It's always trying to come after her. Obviously, our character Rose doesn't believe her because she's a therapist and she just believes her patient is unwell. Mentally unwell. It isn't until Laura, first of all, knocks over the glass flower vase on the table. She claims to see whatever it is. She's like, oh god, it's here. It's coming for me. Stop, get away from me. Screaming and panicking as she's on the floor. Seemingly, she kind of chokes and suffocates and dies, or even has a panic attack, so Rose has to call for hospital help, and they take a surprisingly long time to get there. When in a hospital, you just have help standing by at all times, just in case a patient grows unstable? Why did the staff take so long to get here? Anyway, so Laura seems to be unresponsive on the ground. Rose calls for help. She looks back on the floor and she's gone. She sees that Laura has stood up, humongous smile on her face, has a glass shard, a piece of glass from the broken vase, and then begins to slice up the side of her face all the way down to her neck, unaliving herself. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you. She killed herself. YouTube is a bunch of pussies now who doesn't like the word kill. So, Rose just witnessed her patient kill herself right in front of her. So, she's a little bit shaken up by that. Naturally, anyone would. And of course, there has to be a police report, you know? There's a dead body in the hospital. We have to find out what happened. So, she gets visited by 2 cops. Only one of the cops is actually important to the story. The other cop, whatever the hell his name was, the other cop just shows up for one other quick scene in the movie and then just never shows up again. So only one of the 2 cops matters. One of the 2 cops' his name is Joel, and he is actually Rose's ex. So we're gonna see more of that later on. We're not gonna see them hook up, but we're gonna see them work together later on. Now, the guy who plays Joel, Kyle Gallner, I swear to God, he looked so familiar, so I had to look it up. He was in one episode of The Walking Dead, where he died pretty gruesomely. And let me just take a look real quick. He was in the... Which year was that? He was in the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street. That was a pretty not good movie. And I swear, I've seen him in a show. Let me see. I swear, I've seen this guy in more than just the one episode of The Walking Dead. He's also in a couple of Scream movies. I have not seen the newer Scream movies yet. What else have I seen him in? He looks so familiar. Well, whatever. Maybe I do just recognize him from that one episode of The Walking Dead all those years ago. Whatever. I swear he looks so familiar. Where do I know this guy's face from? Okay, so Rose is pretty shaken up by the fact that she witnessed her patient kill herself right in front of her, saying a bunch of, like, unhinged shit. Rose then begins to see exactly what Laura was saying. People smiling at her, something coming towards her, something coming after her. So it starts by her walking around the hospital. She sees one of her patients, I forget, was his name Carl? She sees one of her patients smiling back at her, and nothing else, just smiling. An enormous smile. It's like, you're gonna die. You're going to die. You're going to die. So she calls for help because this patient is completely unhinged. And then the patient gets pinned down and sedated, kind of unjustly. Like, unnecessarily. So then her boss... I forget if we even learn his name in the movie. I see in this list here, his name was Dr. Morgan Desai. So yeah, let's just go with that. So her boss is saying, like, listen, you're pretty shaken up by what happened. So actually, I think this happened the next day. I think she went home that day. Yeah, this part of the story happened the following day. So after her patient killed herself right in front of her, she went home, feed her cat called Mustache. Wait, hold on. Hold on, I just texted that guy to come back because I want him to hear this part of the movie. My friends and I laughed when this particular actor showed up. God, if only I can thaw. Please thaw. Well, if my friend doesn't show back up, it's whatever. Freeze, 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 fuck! Okay, let me finish this round against Zygarde, and if he doesn't come back, I'll continue talking about the movie. Damn it! Don't activate the ability, please. Damn it. You know, today outside got pretty cold again, and it's pretty windy outside too, making it even more cold. That's Canada weather for you. One day it feels warm enough to not have to wear long sleeves, and then the next you gotta pull those long sleeves back out because it's so cold and windy. Nice! Thank you, crit. God, I hate hosting. Alright, let's continue talking about the movie. So after the first day where she witnessed Laura kill herself, she then went home that night, fed her cat Mustache, and then she was drinking some wine, but then she got scared and dropped the glass. And who shows up? None other than A-Train himself, Jesse T. Usher. Man, we laughed our ass off like, yo, A-Train! You can't outrun the A-Train. So A-Train himself, Jesse T. Usher, he plays Rose's fiance, Trevor. You know, she's just like, man, it's been a pretty long day at work. So the next day she's back over at work, having a drink from a cup with a big smile face on it. There's a lot of symbolism in this movie with smiles. And this is when she sees her patient Carl smile at her, saying she's going to die, and restrains him unnecessarily. So then her boss is like, you just witnessed a patient kill herself in front of you. You're shaken up. I'm going to advise you take a week off with pay. And, you know, take some time, clear your head. There was also this scene where she was having dinner with her sister and her husband. Not really necessary. I kind of got up to get something during that scene, so I don't know if it mentioned her sister's son's birthday or not. It may have. So, Rose is now being made to take a paid leave of absence to clear her head after what she just witnessed. So she goes and buys her nephew a birthday present, a little toy train. So she tries to wrap it up at night. But then her home alarm system goes off. The phone rings. It is like typical stuff. This is the alarm company. There was an alert going off. It's like, can I please have her name and the security code? So she says that. It's like, are you sure something didn't happen? Are you sure you didn't let anything in? It's like, what happened? Well, it's like, whatever this entity is that's haunting her is just toying with her. Because turns out, like, she hallucinates all the time because of this thing where the phone didn't even ring. So she, never picked up the phone. So the security company called again, and then she's like, oh shit, what's going on? She calls the cops. She got scared, so she also dropped another glass. So while the cops were over here, once the cops were gone, she tries to feed Mustache, the cat, but the cat's missing. The cat went missing at the same time she was trying to wrap the present for her nephew. During the sleep, we get a little flashback dream sequence of her mom in a flashback, in bed, dying. That'll come back later in the film. Okay, the next day, it's her nephew's birthday. Rose still feels like something's off, So during the birthday, it's time. First of all, that kid had a mountain of presents. Like, holy shit, those are some rich guests. So when it came time for her nephew to open Rose's present, instead of a toy train, it was poor little Mustache's dead body. So, there was a dead cat wrapped up in the little boy's birthday present. So Rose is distraught. Her cat is dead. She doesn't know how it ended up in the present. She doesn't know what's going on. So everyone at the party sees this woman screaming like, this wasn't me, I swear. She also sees this other girl smiling back at her, but only Rose is able to see it. Nobody else can see it. So she's just like, can anyone else see that? Tell me someone else can see that. So she falls back, she trips and falls back onto the glass table, gets a whole bunch of cuts on her arms, and has to be admitted into the same hospital that she works at. So, while at the hospital, her ex, Joel... Or was it the scene before? Oh, I think it was the scene before. Whatever. No. So, after the hospital, Jesse T. Usher A-Train, Trevor, drives his fiance back home, and she tries to explain to him that, something's happening. I'm cursed. There's an evil spirit haunting me. And, of course, Trevor doesn't believe her. Ugh. Rose does also go to therapy, but that doesn't do too much. Therapist going to therapy. I mean, I suppose that's not out of the loop. That's not out of the realm of possibility. What happened next? So, Rose tries to look into it. She tries to... What are we talking about? We're talking about the movie Smile. The horror movie that came out a couple years ago. Do you not want spoilers and are about to dip again? Let me look up the lady's name, because once again, I recognize her as well. So, yeah, Rose is trying to figure out what's going on, so she looks up online and she finds this person who once also experienced the same thing. And, surprise, surprise, she's able to just go straight to that person's house. I guess that person lived pretty close by. Ugh. So, she goes and visits the person's widow wife because the person died. So, the dude's wife is like, my husband, he was fine until that conference, and then he started screaming smiles everywhere. So then the old lady, who I recognize, wasn't she in Fear the Walking Dead? Wait, is this her name, Judy Reyes? What's her? Let me see. I swear, maybe not Fear the Walking Dead. Maybe maybe this wasn't her. Was this her? No, I guess not. I guess I'm thinking of a different actress. Anyways, So yeah, Rose goes to visit. Her name is Victoria. I'm not even gonna bother pronouncing that last name. She was saying how her husband drew everything everything he saw, all the smiles, everything. It's like, okay, that's kind of smart. So they go to this creepy ass attic that would make From's Victor jealous. And there were smiles everywhere. It almost came off as he encountered the Joker. You know, with so many smiling pictures everywhere. So many horror smiling pictures hung up. So, you know, Rose trying to find information, trying to get information. Victoria gets offended and screams at her, get the fuck out of my house. So she leaves with no answers. Ugh. So Rose then goes to Joel's apartment. Because he's a cop, he's able to find information. So she asks him for a favor. Can you help me look into certain people, certain connections they had, you know. So Joel does it. So he looks into police records. This person witnessed a suicide in front of his eyes. Oh, the person who committed the suicide before also witnessed a suicide in front of their eyes. So there's a pattern. There's a recognizable pattern. Whatever this spirit is, it haunts a person to the point the person commits suicide in front of another person, and then the person who witnessed that suicide then gets marked and haunted by whatever this entity is. So there's a noticeable pattern. Rose picks it up, but Joel did not yet. So Rose realizes the pattern. She then leaves, not to really do anything. She instead goes to a diner and eats. Eats in her car. Eats a very crunchy burger. That's the crunchiest burger I've ever heard. Was the patty deep fried? Like, goddamn. Was it like a katsu burger? Was it breaded then fried? Because holy shit, that was the crunchiest burger I've ever heard. But whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, we don't really see people in movies do this. Eating, you know? Unless it's a restaurant scene, you know what I mean? Like, you don't really see characters just have a bad experience. You don't see a character go through a lot and then just sit down and refuel. You don't really see that in movies. You don't really see characters eat in movies. Unless it's a restaurant scene, you know? When you're watching a movie, you don't really think, do these characters ever eat? We never see the character just sit down and eat a meal unless it's like I said, a restaurant scene, a dinner scene, like an actual meal. We just see the character do what they need to do. We never see the character have a meal. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, that's nice. We actually get to see our main character eat and refuel her body, regain some energy. So that aside, she gets a call from Joel because he also recognizes the pattern. He looked further into it and realizes, hey, there's something going on. There's a whole string of suicides, and there's a whole pattern to follow. So there have been, what was it, 20 suicides and 19 victims? Rose is like, wait a second, 19? So you're saying one survived? Yeah, one person survived. One person's alive, and, he's in prison. Rose is like, I need to talk to him. So they both drive over to talk to the person in jail. So, unfortunately, we kind of get the discussion off screen. So while Rose and Joel are driving towards the prison, Rose told Joel off screen what's going on. And I guess it makes sense for Joel to believe her, because Joel sees the pattern. Joel knows there is a pattern going on. There is something going on. And for Rose to basically fill in the gaps on why it's going on, there's this evil entity possessing people, and, it causes them to commit suicide in front of someone, and then that person who witnessed it then gets possessed themselves, and the pattern continues. So Joel, understandably, is like, okay, wow, that's not what I expected you to say. Like, that's hard to believe. Let's assume it's real. What can we do, right? Rose is just like, how long did each person last for? How long did they each survive for before they died? Joel is like, majority of them never even made it a week. Most of them died around 4 days after. So then Rose is like, tomorrow's my 4th day. Oh no, not a whole lot of time left. So they really gotta hurry up, go to that prison, and ask that guy how to survive this. So the guy, first of all, it's like, I saw his face, I'm just like, this motherfucker again. Man, I literally just saw him in Daredevil. Not Born Again, I literally just saw him in the old Netflix Daredevil show. What the hell was his character's name again? The actor Rob Morgan. What the hell was his character's name in Daredevil? Turk Barrett. So he played Turk in Daredevil. Oh, whoops. It's like, the moment I saw his face, I'm like, it's this motherfucker again. I just saw him when I rewatched Daredevil. So he explains how he survived and how to get rid of it. So in order to get rid of it, instead of killing yourself and passing it to someone who witnessed it, the only other way for it to leave you alone, for you to get rid of it, is you need to kill someone and someone else has to witness it. So you have to put the trauma onto someone else if you want to get rid of it and survive yourself. So, in order for you to stay alive and get rid of it, you need 2 other people in the room. One you're going to kill, and one who has to witness it. Now, that's a pretty tall order, It's either that or you die. So, there's really little options to have. It's not 2 great options to pick from. Rose was actually smart, saying, like, she's a therapist, her patient is dealing with it, instead of saying, like, I'm dealing with it. Because when she let it slip, like, I can't just kill someone, I shouldn't have said that. The guy's just like, wait, You have it? No, why did you bring it here? Don't you give it to me! Get away from me! I mean, it makes sense. You don't exactly want it back. Okay, so now Rose needs to think. She did also ask Joel for evidence, because when Joel was looking for the people that Rose asked her to look into, you know, there were, like, video footage, pictures taken of other people with enormous smiles killing themselves. So there is evidence that there is a pattern going on, that there is some sort of evil entity at play. So she has a file with paper evidence that proves she's not crazy. So she decides to go home and show her fiance A-Train. But Trevor has also called Rose's therapist. The hell was her name again? Dr. Madeline, something. Madeline? Is it Stillwell? No. Whatever, let's just say Madeline. So yeah. She wanted to get the help of her fiancé, but her fiancé broke her trust by calling her therapist. So Rose is pissed. She storms off. She decides to try to ask her sister for help. But her sister, Holly, is just not having it with her. Because, you know, she kind of traumatized her son by gifting him a dead cat for his birthday. So she tries to explain to her sister, something's haunting me. Some sort of evil entity, some sort of like curse has been put upon me. And I have proof. I have proof right here. Her sister is just not having it. She thinks her sister's crazy. She thinks like maybe she's acting the same way their mother did. Because their mother died via suicide. Well, I think accidental, whatever. It was like overdose. Blah, blah, blah. Minor stories that don't really matter. Like Holly leaving. So a young Rose had to find her dead mother alone. Blah, blah, blah. So the two sisters are pretty broken up. Pretty torn apart. You know, at this point in the movie, I'm just like, what do you even aim to achieve by having someone believe you, Rose? Because if your fiance, let's just say, real quick, your fiance and sister really did believe you, and you're being cursed and haunted by something. What do you really expect them to do? I feel like at this point, she really should have just accepted that she is alone in this, and she has to deal with this herself. Because nobody's going to believe her, and anyone who would believe her, they can't exactly help. There's not exactly anything anyone can do to help you. So you kind of should just accept that you're alone in this. But of course we know Joel does indeed believe her. So she... Once again, there's a lot of hallucinations in this movie. You never really know what happened, what really didn't happen, what did happen. So she grows desperate. She hides a knife in her jacket, heads to the same hospital she works at. I'm just thinking, wow, it's really easy to sneak a knife into a hospital. She goes to her patient Carl's room, pulls out the... wait, not yet. She gets caught by her boss. She then pulls out her knife and starts stabbing him over and over. His boss is screaming in horror. She's almost sighing in relief, but then she turns around and sees her boss rip his face off. And then she wakes up. So it was a nightmare. A hallucination nightmare. So she's thinking like, oh my god, what am I doing? Am I really thinking about killing someone just to I don't know, free myself? So her boss shows up beside her in the car in the parking lot. And she's just like, you know, whatever the doctor said, whatever the boss man said, she's just like, you're right. I need to be alone. You've solved it. I need to be alone right now. I can't be around other people. So she's beginning to drive off, but the boss is like, no, Rose, don't go. Like, I'll call a doctor. Like, please, stay. Don't go, I'll call help for you. Nope, she drives off, and then he calls the cops on her, thinking like she's unhinged and driving off somewhere, and she needs help, so he calls the cops on her. Thing is, though, the cops don't show up. The cops do not show up looking for her whatsoever. Then again, I guess, because where does Rose go? She drives off far into the wilderness. And I guess it's kind of hard to track cell service there in order for them to pinpoint where she is. However, Rose did make one bonehead move, and that was calling Joel, telling him her plan. Like, I know what I have to do. I need to be alone right now. It's like, wait, what? Rose, where are you going? Tell me where you are. I'm coming to you. It's like, nope. Hangs up on him. I'm just thinking, like, you called your cop friend. Wouldn't he be able to track your cell service and find you? Sure, you're in the wilderness, and cell service is bad out there. It'll take time, but he could still track where you are. Would have just been smart for you to not call him if you wanted to truly be left alone, but whatever. So she drives far into the wilderness where there is one single house out there, one very broken down, decrepit, dry house. And it's actually her childhood home. So she goes back to her childhood home in literally the middle of the woods. It actually has me thinking, like, were there other houses around? Like, was it a neighborhood? Or did you literally live in a single house with your mom and sister, far from civilization? I mean, that's not impossible, but it's like, was that the case? Or were there neighboring houses and all of them have been torn down by now? Because, like, just a single house? It wasn't even a big house either. Ugh. So I question, like, did you really just live alone all the way out here? Or were there other things around you at the time? Whatever. So, her plan is to be alone, devoid this being of what it feeds off of, which is trauma. You get traumatized by seeing someone kill themselves in front of you. Whatever this entity is then latches on you via your trauma and whatever past trauma you may have experienced yourself. So, if there's nobody around, there's no one for her to kill to get rid of it, there's also no one she can kill herself in front of to pass it on to someone else. So she is taking this thing on one-on-one. Alright, so she's alone in her very old abandoned house. You know, it's an abandoned house in the middle of the woods. There's no electricity. By the time it's night, she goes into her garage and finds a lantern. My friend was just like, come on, there's oil in that lantern? I guess there is, because that lantern works. She goes into what was once, many years ago, her mom's room, where we get a flashback to the moment her mother died. It's like her mother overdosed. She was calling for her daughter to call help, but then Rose, being a young kid, ran away and let her mother die. Because at a young age, she didn't know what to do. And also, I assume it was a very abusive relationship because she says her mother was a monster. Her mother was horrible. So she let her mother die. And she carried that trauma with her entire life. Okay, well, it's nighttime. It's nighttime, it's pitch black, all she has is a lantern with her. She goes into this room, and then we see this woman figure in her underwear for some reason, talking back to Rose. It's her mother, but young, and in her underwear. So her mother's talking back. It's like, why did you leave me to die? Are you ashamed of me? Do you regret letting me die? No, Mom, you were a monster and I was a child. I was scared. And of course this figure that's posing as her mother is really whatever this monster thing is. So they get into a scuffle. This thing kind of transforms, kind of gets big and long and bony. It's almost like I was watching Pennywise. You know, is the way to kill it to insult it? You're nothing but a clown. You're a mimic. A bully and a mimic. You're nothing but a mimic. Like, is that the way to take this thing down? Just to depower it? Not give it any strength? Anyways. So eventually this monster thing... Honestly, I would love an origin story on what this thing is. So this monster thing actually has Rose by the throat. Rose is able to grab the lantern, set this thing on fire, supposedly killing it, like actually burning it to death. The house also collapses in on itself because of the fire. So it seems like Rose has won. She killed whatever this demon entity is, and she's now free. She goes back to Joel's apartment, and is like, I'm sorry for everything that happened between us. Can I just maybe stay here and sleep? And just get some rest, and can you just be by my side? Can I just be here and rest? Joel's just like, yeah, I'll be with you. I'm never leaving you. And then he cracks an enormous smile. So, no, the entity's not dead. Damn, they actually faked me out. Of course, I know a sequel exists, so there's no way Rose would have won and killed this thing. But damn, they really faked me out. I thought Rose potentially really destroyed this thing. In a way. I didn't think the hallucination would go so far to where, you know... Okay, so Rose ran out of Joel's hospital in fear, and then when she left the hospital, she gets teleported back outside her childhood home before she burned it down. So all of it was a hallucination. She didn't even enter the house, let alone stay there until it was dark and burn it down. None of that happened. All of that was a hallucination. So, what really happens now, like for real, she's standing outside her home at night, not burned down yet. Joel shows up, for real. The real person shows up. So Rose is just like, no, this isn't real. Whatever. So she runs into the building, locks herself in, and then she just succumbs to whatever this monster is. Whatever this monster thing is, it peels off its own face, removing the disguise that is Rose's mother, and then shows its very grotesque face. I gotta say, the design of this thing really looks like analog horror. It really does. It looks like an analog horror monster, but in like high definition 4K quality, actually visible CGI. It could be practical, it's hard to tell. By the looks of it, this was a very cheap movie to make, and that's good. No over-bloated budget, that's always a good thing to see. But yeah, the design of this monster thing really looked like analog horror. So then, yeah, Rose succumbs to this monster. The monster opens Rose's mouth so wide it starts to bleed and then just crawls in. So Joel finally breaks down the door, uses his cop flashlight, looks around the dark house. He sees Rose standing there. She has drenched herself in oil, in gasoline, turns around with a huge smile on her face, and then lights herself on fire. Joel witnesses this. In the reflection of his eye, you see Rose burning with a giant smile, and we know what that means. Joel witnessed a cursed person commit suicide. That means the curse is now on Joel. And then the movie ends. And there you go. That's the movie Smile. Poor Joel. He didn't deserve that. He was a good guy. The thing is, though, the sequel doesn't cover Joel. I think that would have been cool. You know? I think it would have been cool for the second movie to follow Joel. But it doesn't. The second movie stars Naomi Scott. Not starring Kyle... What the hell was his last name? Not starring Kyle Gallner. However, I do know he's in the second movie. He's not the main focus, but he is in the second movie. So I'm excited to see where that story continues. Man, something I don't understand about Hollywood sequels. Why do the sequels almost never follow the character you set up in the first movie? Okay, first movie's main character, Rose, is dead. So we obviously can't follow her in the sequel. But you set up Kyle. What? No, Kyle's the actor's name. You set up the character Joel. Why do we not follow him in the sequel? It's like, you set up the character for the sequel, and yet the sequel doesn't follow that character. But instead, you hear what I'm assuming will happen. You hear hints of what happened to that character off screen. God damn it, Hollywood. But whatever. So that's the movie Smile. Like I said, it was actually a pretty good horror movie. I liked the idea, the concept. I will admit though, there was a lot less smiling in the movie and more so just horror. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there was this one scene where Rose's therapist makes a house call. It turns out it's not actually her therapist. It's whatever this monster is in disguise, posing as the therapist. Because her supposed therapist is sitting right in front of her, and then she gets a call from her therapist. So then this fake therapist cracks an enormous smile. You know, there was that scene as well. Again, I would love maybe like a short film or even like a YouTube explanation. Official, of course. An official YouTube explanation. Not who. What this monster is. What the origin of this monster is. I would love to know it. Man, that's kind of a gripe I have with like horror movies. I want to know the origin to these like monsters and deities and like evil spirits. I want to know where they started, where they came from. Though sadly, I don't think we will ever get that. Anyways, I probably missed a couple of details about the movie, but for the most of it, there it is. The movie Smile came out in 2022. I'll have to see when I watch the sequel. Man, I hear the fact that I'm hearing the second movie is even crazier than the first one. I hear the second movie's terrifying and crazier than the first movie. So that has me excited. Has me excited to see the second movie. And I also saw the fact that Moist Critical said the sequel movie is pretty good. Hey, that's high praise coming from him. So I'm excited to watch the second movie whenever I get around to it. Probably watch it the next time my friends come over and we all watch it together. So, the movie Smile. I liked it. Once again, a nice, simple, no woke, low budget movie. I assume it's low budget because this movie wasn't heavy in special effects, choreography, stunts, you know? It was just a very simple movie. A very simply made movie where a lot of the visual things that happened were very easily done with practical. A lot of the drool and blood, very easy to do practical. Now, the actual monster itself, I can see that being CGI, and it wasn't a lot, you know? Not a whole lot of scenes, not a whole lot of necessary big visuals for, you know, the CGI department to be overworked, right? It wasn't a lot of editing to be done, you know what I mean by that? So yeah, pretty good movie. And you know what? What a good movie should stand for. Simple, clean, no messages, just a good story to tell. Acting was fantastic also, by the way. While I'm at it, so was the makeup department. Both of those phenomenal for this movie. Like, you see Rose's face begin to slowly, like, tire out, wear down. You see her have bags. You also see her, like, you know, be pale. And also have injuries. It's like, great job with the makeup department. It wasn't crazy, you know? She wasn't wearing a body prosthetic. She wasn't playing Mystique. But still, like, pretty good job. Like I said, there are criticisms as well. There were a lot of, like, cheap jump scares, a lot of predictable jump scares, predictable movie tropes. You know, like a long-winded silence and you're just expecting a jump scare accompanied by a loud sound to really scare you. I mean, that's not necessarily a negative, per se, you know? Because that's just typical movie trope, horror movie trope. And honestly, there's nothing really wrong with movie tropes. It's just, we've gotten to the point, and we've been at this point long ago. We're at the point where we can actually identify and actually label what movie tropes are. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. So, I'm happy with this movie. It was a good movie. After the movie was done, my friend looked up the Rotten Tomatoes reviews. He saw one of them said, "You can't outrun the A-Train." And, yeah, he kind of did disappear from the movie. A-Train really did run away. A-Train really just vanished. He really did just disappear from the movie. You know, when he showed up, I'm just like, yo, he killed Popclaw for her. He killed Popclaw for Rose. Oh my god, how did I miss this Mr. Beast video today? Would you risk drowning for $500,000? Mr. Beast really trying to kill people out here. You know, some of my friends, because they didn't watch The Boys as recently as I have, so obviously they watched The Boys years ago when it came out. So when I mentioned A-Train killed Popclaw for her, they're just like, who's Popclaw? Just like, you know, the girl who A-Train killed himself, the girl who killed that one guy, death by Snoo Snoo. It wasn't a crushed pelvis. It was crushed still. Well, Glalie didn't use fake tears. I hope that's gonna be okay. Well, that's all I have to talk about for today. Well, I'm now done talking. I ran out of things to talk about. So, I'm gonna, first of all, give my voice a rest. I am going to plug in my headphones and I'm gonna watch this Mr. Beast video. Would you risk drowning for $500,000? Let's see what this lunatic has done this time. Ain't no way YouTube just gave me a 17-second long unskippable ad, and it's only one of two. I swear, I can't be the only one who's noticed that YouTube's ads have really gotten out of control. 2 unskippable 15-second long ads. If not 2 15-second long, then 1 15 and 1 10, both of them unskippable. Oh, right. Today was also Entei Dynamax Raid Day. Is that right? Dynamax Entei Raid Day. I only did one. And the IVs were atrocious. The IV pool I got was 10, 11, 11. So pretty bad. Well, at least I got one, you know? I really put that Hundo Squirtle to good use, which I did evolve into a Blastoise. Because I got the Hundo Squirtle yesterday, that left me with very little time to actually build it and prepare it beforehand. So, I didn't connect online yet. So, instead of using my instead of using my Dynamax Particles to raid a bunch of Enteis today, I instead used a good chunk of it to actually max out my Squirtle into a Blastoise. Like, I maxed out everything. So I only had leftover Particles to do one Entei raid the whole day. And I sure as hell ain't paying for more Particles to do more. Wow, I'm checking out this Mr. Beast video. The intro itself, he's really trying to get this guy killed. Wow, that was fast. He did not risk drowning quickly. Hey, good for him. No, I think I would leave that bag. The bag that the bear is eating, I think I would leave that bag. Oh, he's not quitting. He's going for that bag. Balance beam of death, huh? Nope, 500,000 balance beam. The fact that he has to reach over for the money is crazy. Oh, that bag bounced off the platform. Ain't no way this is AI pictures of Byron, man. Wow, dude actually jumped off for 75K. Worth it! I would too. I would too. Oh, that's smart! Put no money in the first car. That's smart. No, I think I would have spread the money between the last 2 cars. Remote controlling a real-life car. Okay, let me pause the video real quick. I paused at 8 minutes 43. Mr. Beast technically didn't say in the rules, once you drove a car to successfully to the end, there's no rules where you can't exactly reverse it, right? But I suppose the money's already in the trunk. We'll see. What? One person says he's dipping. Alright, so I gotta tag the other person. God damn it. Alright, I just pinged the next person to join. The next person on the wait list. While I... Oh, never mind. I was about to say... While I wait, I was about to say I'm gonna use the bathroom. Never mind, he already replied. Well, that won't stop me from using the bathroom. So, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Someone else said give me 2 minutes, so it's a good thing I used the bathroom. How's everyone doing? Back to the Mr. Beast video. Byron's a little harder to kill than I thought. Wow. Buried alive again, huh? Whoops. No, he's actually crawling upward. I am not physically smart. That too. I am not physically strong enough to attempt to carry all that money up this jungle gym. No way. Yes, do primal screams when you need to. I wonder what'll... Hold on, I just paused the video. I wonder what'll happen if you just dig a hole and bury the money. Obviously inside of something. Like, he just put it inside of a fridge. What if he just dug a hole and buried it? Ignore all the shaking. I think after this I'll do one more, then call it, because it is getting late. Jeez, that did more damage than I thought it would. Wow, no one Dynamaxed. But it was not necessary! Alright, last one for tonight. Oh, right. I did technically get a shiny today, somewhat. Today, I pulled the shiny Wiglet card in TCG Pocket. Those cards are actually rare like shinies. I thought they'd be a little more common, but nope. They're actually quite rare. You know what? Just for fun, I'll catch these. Tomorrow is also Vanillish Community Day. I'll have to see how many I get. Not a 15-second long, unskippable voting ad. Nice. Alright, last one for tonight. And the 3DS is about to die, so perfect timing, too. Nothing. Well, see you guys next time.